Matt Gray is here on the Blaze Radio Network.
Great to have you with us. 888-900-3393. Also at Pat Unleashed on Twitter. We actually got an alternative version of this song.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, from Pathead Frugal Father.
All right.
Yeah, created something a little more mellow.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. For when we're in a sort of a
mellow mood?
Mellow mood.
Because I never am, is the problem. I like it. I like that a lot.
Is that are we seeing the piano? Because that's the piano on which this
I think they must have programmed
recorded.
the piano and
and now it just plays.
You like those kind of pianos? They kind of creep me out a little bit.
Yeah. I like them because I don't play, so you can sit down and pretend like you do.
I mean, I like the version of the song. It's just that seeing a piano sitting there with music coming out of it and no human being around kind of
creepy.
Bugs me a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie.
888-900.
Thanks for that.
3393. Yeah, that's very cool. Biden faces the lowest approval rating yet in his handling of inflation, COVID-19, and gun violence. What's wrong with any of those things? As the COVID-19 Omicron variant spreads across the country, resulting in new mask mandates, travel restrictions, and a third vaccine shot, Biden took a significant hit in Americans' faith in his handling of the pandemic. Majority of Americans, 53%, still approve of his response. 45% disapprove, marking the most since he took office. And nearly a 20 percentage point drop from March when 72% of Americans approved.
Wow.
So it's down a lot, but he's still above water on that, which is hard for me to believe.
Mm-hmm.
2/3 of Americans disapprove of his handling of gun violence. 32% approve. 36% of Americans approve of his handling of crime. 61% disapprove. Wow, he is way underwater on a lot of these. Both of those are the lowest since he took office. As inflation continues to surge, Americans have named it a top concern, surpassing the pandemic. So it is the top concern. The poll found 28% of Americans approved of his handling of inflation, while a majority of Americans, 69%, disapproved. So there's 3%. I don't know. How can you not know on that? Biden has also seen a drop in approval rates in his handling of the economy, the economic recovery, with 41% of Americans approving his handling in December compared to 47% in October. Disapproval rates of Biden's handling of the economy jumped. 57% of Americans surveyed disapproved of his handling of the economy compared to 53% in October. All right, so he is not doing well with the American people. And his fabulous wife.
Oh, yeah, right.
Lady McBiden was asked about her husband's approval ratings, and this is what she had to say.
You've seen the president's poll numbers drop. Does that bother you?
You know, I look at it a little differently, Rita. During the campaign, Joe made certain promises, things that he would do. And we were going through a pandemic, which no one could have anticipated.
Pause it for a second.
So he did.
I'm sorry, which no one could have anticipated. We were in the pandemic for some time when he took office. What, like a year? It was like about a year that we were in the pandemic.
Yep.
What do you mean nobody could have anticipated? We were in it! All right, let's see the rest of this.
During the campaign, Joe made certain promises, things that he would do. And we were going through a pandemic, which no one could have anticipated.
Maybe I don't know.
So he did come in and rescue America with the American Rescue Plan. And
He rescued
millions
America?
of families got money because they were desperate. We have vaccines for kids ages 5 and up. And
Nobody
now
wants,
with the
by
infrastructure
the way.
plan, we're going to have better roads and better buildings.
Yeah,
that
we've heard
don't
that a
have
million
asbestos,
times.
Better drinking water.
So do you figure once the public kind of comprehends
Yeah,
this,
it's our fault, dude.
things will turn around?
We don't get it.
I do.
She
And
does.
one more
She
question
does.
on that, on the polls,
Uh-oh.
because there have been some recent polls
Uh-oh.
that show that quite a few Americans have some questions about the president's current mental fitness. As somebody who spends, I guess
she's so
shaking
incensed
her
by
head.
that.
Yes.
So what's your response
Yeah, you
to
shook
that?
your head, didn't
I
you?
think that's ridiculous.
Oh, you do?
Oh, we're done.
You think it's okay?
That's where they cut it.
think that's ridiculous.
I'm sure she had plenty more to say, but that's where they cut that interview.
I think that's ridiculous. Do you, Puddin'? Do you? Because I think it's ridiculous he's still in office. And so if that's what you mean, we're totally in agreement on that. This question comes up enough that, you might take it seriously and not just dismiss it, because more and more Americans are realizing the guy is out to lunch and he's not coming home for dinner. Okay?
Yeah.
So
He'll come home for pudding, though,
maybe.
and ice cream
Unless he finds pudding or ice cream
while he's out and about.
while he's out.
I see.
All right, let me tell you about Keeps. How will you know when you're ready to do something about your receding hairline and bald spot? Yeah, probably when they're the first things you see in the mirror. They bother you during the course of the day. Then, it's time. So what do? You go to Keeps. Mm-hmm. Keeps has more 5-star reviews than any competitor. Hundreds of thousands of guys trust Keeps for their hair loss prevention, including Keith Melanak.
Yeah, I got to say, I got a new slogan for them. Keeps. Close the gap.
And look at
you see that?
That's
Close
really
the gap,
something. That's super impressive.
Yeah.
And it just keeps growing, right? I mean,
sure does.
You're going to be a long-haired hippie freak by the end of this thing.
Probably so. Yeah. How long should I? I'm going to look like Ben Franklin again.
Yeah.
Like Jeffy did.
And because of these are generic versions, you pay about half the price. And best of all, you do everything online. Just go online and answer a few questions, snap some pictures, and post them. And then a licensed doctor reviews that, comes up with the right hair loss treatment for you, and then it's shipped right to your door. And if you have any questions along the way, you can message your Keeps doctor 24/7. You can track your progress. So go to Keeps, KEEPS.com/Pat. Get 50% off your first order of hair loss treatment. That's Keeps.com/Pat.
My mouth's bleeding, Bert! My mouth's bleeding! Voodoo pedals! Voodoo... There they are! Bert! What do you know about that? Merry Christmas!
Pat Gray Unleashed.
So Lady McBiden completely dismisses as ridiculous any suggestion that Joe Biden is not completely well and whole.
Yeah, where'd that question come from, Rita?
Yeah.
Huh?
It comes from because all Americans are asking themselves, what's wrong with this guy?
Right.
Something is radically wrong with him. Anyway, the road to recovery in Kentucky, he talks about it, and he's got some interesting ideas on it.
Oh, good.
Detail I need about the hospitals along the path of this tornado, but we're gonna have to. I'm sure I'm going to be asking my team to set up sites for booster shots and a whole range of things.
Oh yeah, that's what they're worried about now.
The worst part is
got a
their life
booster
has
shot.
to go on.
You got to get your
as if
booster
nothing
shot.
happened.
Right.
Because they've still got to take care of those needs, from is their kid going to get in school to whether or not they're going to be able
Get
to
their
collect
booster
an
shot.
unemployment check, or they're going to be in this, all of those issues. But one of those issues will be public health as it relates to COVID.
Okay, now they're trying to wrap it up. Okay, thank you. Now watch old man tries to keep it going. I want to do another answer. Come on.
Unbelievable. Yeah. So that's what's on the mind of people who've been devastated by a tornado. Where can I get my third booster? My booster shot. I need it. I don't know what I'm going to do. Yeah, I have no house right now.
Sure.
But where's my booster shot?
You got to get the booster shot.
Where could I get it?
I mean, you don't have a roof.
Asinine.
But you got to get that booster shot.
Yeah.
Man. That's top of mind.
Yeah. Wow.
Oh, these people.
They're buffoons. And he, of course, is the biggest buffoon of them all.
Yeah.
It's hard to believe. It's just really hard to believe that we're in this situation.
And you notice, something lost, I think, in that answer where he said, and maybe I'm nitpicking here, and I will be the first to admit, but he started to say, I'm gonna ask my team because I'm in charge here. He started to.
Yeah.
Anyway, whatever. He's not in charge, but hell, he's not even in charge of his own brain, much less the country.
No, and I think Lady McBiden is behind a lot of what he does.
Oh yeah.
She pushed him into the presidency, even though he's in no shape for it. And she knows it full well.
But don't ask her that question, or she rolls her eyes and lifts her head
like it's the dumbest thing she's ever heard.
Right, seriously. That lady asked her, in a very professional way, hey, a lot of people are questioning, don't go there, stop it. And this is Jake Tapper Part 2.
Yep. Like it's the most preposterous thing she's ever heard. Like, he is sharp as a tack, this guy. What are you even talking about?
Who's saying that? I don't see what you're talking about.
And she has sat there, obviously, really uncomfortable on multiple occasions when he's just lost it. He's just completely lost. And he doesn't know where he is. He doesn't know what he's talking about. He doesn't know where to go. He's wandering around on the podium. He doesn't know anything.
Yeah, but he does know that we're going to get booster shots.
Yeah.
And these communities have been hard hit by tornadoes.
So we got that going for us.
Yeah, and there's so much more that we could do in these communities, too.
Yeah. Time Magazine has come out with their Person of the Year already. Well, it's only December 14th. It seems like that usually happens a little bit later. But you know who it is? Elon Musk. Person of the Year.
Wow.
I wouldn't say that's controversial, really. He's pretty clear choice for that.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
I mean, his tweets are a little interesting lately.
Yeah, he's been interesting for his whole life.
Right.
He doesn't know when to stop.
That's true.
Like, talking about stepping down and retiring is really not good for his company. And I don't know why he keeps doing it. He doesn't seem to care. But some of the things he says in the interview is that he actually slammed vaccine mandates for erosion of freedom. And he also says that he's going to fly a Noah's Ark spaceship packed full of animals to Mars.
Wait, he's going to be the one flying it? That's what he said?
Yeah. I'm sure his company is going to. But what are the animals going to do once they get to Mars? Where are you going to put them? Are they going to wear spacesuits? Because they're not going to be able to breathe any better than the humans do.
You better have a lot of different oxygen bearing, holding tanks.
Yeah.
Because you can't put the elephants in with the cats and stuff, or you got to have a whole bunch of. That's going to be.
His Mars plan is interesting because we don't have. It doesn't seem to me that we have the technology to do the things he wants to do, but he's hell bent on doing them. It seems like.
I mean, that doesn't stop Joe Biden in the Build Back Better budget.
Oh, jeez.
With green energy.
Yeah, which is also not there yet. But Elon also, I didn't know this, sold most of his possessions recently.
Mm-hmm. That's a bad sign.
Including his 7 California homes. 7 of them. And now he moved into a 375 square foot modular home in Boca Chica, Texas. It's 375 square feet. Richest man on earth.
That I didn't know.
Lives in a 375 square foot modular home.
Well, didn't his woman leave him, right?
He says they're semi-separated.
What does that
Mostly
mean?
Due to distance. I don't know. Maybe that she's in California and he's here.
Wait a minute. She tweeted out a photo of like the Communist Manifesto or something, right?
Did she?
Basically a dig at him or something. Okay. I gotta look this up. I thought they were separated.
He's also vaccinated, but he doesn't like the vaccine mandates. And as I mentioned, he said they're an erosion of freedom. He's still planning to colonize Mars.
Okay.
He has a net worth of $265.4 billion as we speak. That could be up by, $35 billion. He could be $300 billion tomorrow or later on today.
Well, he's probably.
Or he could be back down to $200 billion.
What he probably got his wealth from was selling all those mansions and
Yes.
living in a trailer now.
Right.
That's probably how he did it.
And Tesla employees alleged the company failed to properly notify its shareholders and the public of fire risks associated with the solar panel system defects. Uh-oh. So he's got some issues, of course. But he's a fascinating guy, and he's got unbelievably big plans. And if anybody can pull it off, I think it's going to be him.
Yeah.
He says he doesn't have a new girlfriend. He and Grimes remain good friends as they co-parent their child, Xaeage. I forget how he pronounces that. But there's a better way than that. It's not quite as clunky, but it's still bizarre.
Poor kid.
I'm human and all, he says. I'm not a robot, but this place is basically techno monastery. There are some women here, but not many, and it's remote. So in Boca Chica, Texas, there's not a lot, apparently, of babes to woo.
Wait a minute. If you're Elon Musk and you have, what is he worth again? Lots.
$265.4 billion.
They find you.
Yeah, really.
They'll get out there.
Yeah, I think so too. So what was it you were looking up?
Just to see what their situation was.
And they are.
The latest quote is semi-separated, but this is September 2021. Did you hear? Rob was telling me that the Time Magazine Athlete of the Year. You know who that is?
I don't.
Take a guess. Who accomplished so much this year in the world of sport? I mean, Tom Brady won the Super Bowl, right, at age 97.
Yeah, he might be a possibility.
Freddie Freeman, of course, of the Atlanta Braves World Championship team, should probably be considered. No, it's Simone Biles, who quit in the middle of the Olympics.
Oh, man. That's so typical, isn't it?
That's America 2021.
That is so typical of something that is completely against everything we've ever believed, really, about perseverance and keep going under pressure. When the going gets tough, the tough get going. And then she quit in the middle, and now all of a sudden that's a really great thing. That is so great that she knows her limits. Oh, how wonderful that is. That she didn't feel compelled to compete, even though she was supposed to. Wait, when did that become a good thing?
So Elon Musk on one end of the spectrum, taking chances, big plans, dreaming. Mm-hmm. And then Simone Biles, who leaves her team in the middle of the Olympics.
Wow, that's really something.
There's your Persons of the Year. Time Magazine.
Out of all the candidates that you could consider, that's amazing. It really is. All right. Let me tell you about preborn, because abortion is the leading cause of death in the United States and around the world. Since Roe v. Wade, going on 63 million babies have been aborted in the U.S. alone. It's well over 1 billion worldwide. Nearly 1 in 4 pregnancies end in abortion, and so it is time to do something. It's long past time to do something. The Ministry of Preborn is partnering with Blaze Media to rescue 10,000 babies by the end of this year, and we hope you'll be a part of it. Really need your help to make this happen. Preborn is the direct competition to Planned Parenthood, and they're the largest provider of not abortions, but of free ultrasounds in the U.S. And that's important because it gives the woman a chance to see her baby in the womb and understand that it's human life. That's human life. And when they understand that, 80% of the time, they choose life. So if you can, please help us rescue 10,000 babies. To donate, dial pound 250 and say the keyword baby. That's pound 250, keyword baby, or just go to preborn.com/Pat.
Look, Daddy, teacher says every time a bell rings, an angel gets his wings.
That's right. That's right. Attaboy, Clarence.
Give away the movie.
Gray Unleashed.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah, you're not going to be surprised by the ending, I guess, because that is the ending of the movie, pretty much. Right?
Okay, yeah. Attaboy,
What are you going to do?
Clarence.
Attaboy. What, I mean, it's only been out since, was it 1949? I think so. You may not have seen it yet. It only plays 1,000 times every year, so you might not have seen it yet.
You watched it yet?
No, I haven't.
What's going on?
Not
man?
yet.
I mean, for this year. I mean, you've seen it like 900 times.
900, yeah, at least.
1946.
46, okay.
So it's 75 years old, right? Is that right?
Right after the war. Huh. All right. They continue to politicize the situation in Kentucky.
Of course.
Climate activist Michael Mann.
He's good.
Looks at it as an opportunity. What happened in Kentucky?
We've learned by hard lessons how to change construction. The Japanese have learned this as well, and other places around the world, to deal with earthquakes and to deal with, hurricanes. Look at New Orleans coming back from death and destruction. What do we need to learn about how to build better in the Southeast, let's say?
Let me walk you right up to it.
Midwest.
Well, we need to pass Build Back Better because that bill has climate provisions that will address this problem.
It'll fix tornadoes.
It's
gotta be kidding
at its
me.
core, which is the warming of the planet due to carbon pollution, fossil fuel burning. So that's most important. We can prevent this from getting worse if we act on climate now.
Gotta build
that
back.
having been said, as you allude to,
back better.
some of these impacts are now baked in. We are going to need to deal with this. That means greater resiliency. That means adaptive measures to help deal with the impacts of these destructive storms. So it's really both. It's adapting to the changes that we're already forced to deal with and preventing it, most importantly, from getting worse by acting on climate.
Again, the worst disaster, the worst climate disaster in United States history happened in the year, was it 2020? No. Was it this year? Was it 2016? It was 1900. The year 1900. Galveston, Texas was virtually wiped out by a category, they think it's probably a category 5 hurricane. There were not the ways that we have today of measuring it. But it was a powerful hurricane, and it killed up to 10,000 people or more. So
that interview right there, that was two people who got the same talking points from the Democrat Party or the White House.
Throw in Build Back Better.
Yeah,
maybe we can get this bill passed.
She's like, how do I ask this question so that he's the one that says Build Back Better?
How do we build better?
Yeah,
she left out back, so she obviously wasn't using a talking point there.
That's a good one, Andrea. Yeah, we got to build back better. We got to pass it.
But they act like the only time we've ever had bad disasters are now because of climate change, which is such garbage.
Right, and I don't know who this other guy is, some engineer who landed on CNN or something. But
he's on the Build Back Better bandwagon as well.
How amazing how this happens.
Yeah.
There's so much sadness and tragedy in this, but when it comes to the rebuilding angle, is a situation like this, in a way, an opportunity to rebuild better?
Oh, an opportunity,
stronger buildings,
that's what it is.
Like upgrading services, underground
These
power.
people are despicable.
Even better neighborhood
freaking despicable.
layouts and things.
Absolutely. I worked on the Christchurch rebuild in New Zealand after the 2011 earthquake.
Did you?
And
okay.
That was a great example also on how to rebuild. And it gave them an opportunity to build back better, build back more resilient, and also to change certain
smooth,
city
right,
planning
this guy?
aspects and urban design of their downtown area.
Yeah, good.
So it is an opportunity for that, but you just have to really
to build back better.
Doing that because building back greener or building back more resilient is going to cost
more
better for construction costs.
It is
worth it though in the long run. Though.
Yeah.
Right?
Because building back better, well, it's just better, right? Because you're building back in a better way.
You got it. See, atta boy, Clarence. These people are so
bizarre,
sick in the head.
They are.
They are making the rounds, trying to convince those in Kentucky that when you build back, be sure to build back better. Call your senator. And then also, you've got the president saying, well, we're going to get these booster locations up and running. My gosh, these people want heat. They want water. They want food. Can you stop?
Yeah, they've got no power right now.
5 minutes. Let them bury their dead already.
It's unbelievable.
Oh, gosh.
And how are you building back better? What are you talking about with that? You're going to make it tornado proof? Because really, there's no such thing.
Yeah.
There's no such thing. You can't build a building so well that it will withstand a hurricane or a tornado How are you going to do that?
Well, when we get all of these electric cars on the road and all of these electric car chargers...
Then we won't have tornadoes or hurricanes ever again.
Thank you. Then you don't even need to worry about how you build your buildings. We're just going to outlaw tornadoes.
Okay. And that's how you build back better. Just do it environmentally friendly, and we'll just stop tornadoes.
Is it Christmas vacation yet, Pat?
Almost. Hang on.
Yes, sir.
A couple more days.
I'm a-trying.
And we're there. Mm-hmm. Then we got Ron DeSantis, thank goodness. A voice in the wilderness. A little bit of sanity in this world. I love this. Mm-hmm. Ron DeSantis is proposing $8 million in the 2022-23 budget in Florida. $8 million to relocate illegal immigrants to Delaware and Martha's Vineyard.
Yes!
So we're going to pack them up on buses in Florida.
There you go.
And we're going to drive them to Delaware and let them off.
There you go.
Good luck with them. You guys deal with it.
Later.
Yeah, you never have to do this because you're not a border state. So we're going to show you what it feels like, and then you can show us how it's done, okay? Why don't you show us how to deal with this incredible issue? Unbelievable. That'd be so great. As they say, well, here's what he said about it. If you sent illegal immigrants to Delaware or Martha's Vineyard or some of these places, that border would be secure the next day.
Yep.
And he's right. When these northern politicians understand, oh my gosh, this is a nightmare, then they'll secure the border. And they're not going to do it until then. So what a fantastic plan from Ron DeSantis, and people are going to hate him for it. But he doesn't care.
I love it.
I don't think he cares. I think this guy would win the presidency right now. I do. I think
even if Trump ran?
Well, I don't think he'll run if Trump does. I think he's a loyalist, and he doesn't want to piss off Trump like that. He'd have to wait another 4 years if Trump runs. But I don't know. We'll see if Trump runs. I don't know. I go back and forth on whether or not I think he's going to run. And right now I'm kind of in a maybe not sort of place.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But we'll see.
Well, Hillary says that if he wins in 2024.
It's the end of democracy.
Well, good. I hate democracy.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. Let's finally put an end to that once and for all. That would be nice. Meanwhile, California's governor on the other end of the spectrum says he's going to use legal tactics of Texas abortion ban to implement gun control. Buffoon. Absolute buffoon. Let's see. Gun possession is written into the Constitution.
Mm-hmm.
Abortion is not. So, slightly different situation just based on that. In fact, completely different just based on that. But he expressed his outrage at a Supreme Court decision to allow the Texas 6-week abortion ban to remain in effect and said he would use similar legal tactics to tackle gun control in his state.
Oh, Gavin Newsom,
so
man.
stupid.
He's a leader.
I'm outraged by yesterday's U.S. Supreme Court decision allowing Texas's ban on most abortion services to remain in place and largely endorsing Texas's scheme to insulate its laws from the fundamental protections of Roe v. Wade. The Friday ruling from the Supreme Court allowed Texas abortion law that bars the procedure after the first 6 weeks of pregnancy to remain in place, but said abortion providers have the right to challenge the law in federal court, which they're going to do, obviously. However, the ruling limits which state officials can be sued by the abortion providers and which that could make it difficult for them to resume providing abortions after the 6th week of pregnancy. Gee, wouldn't that be a shame? Wouldn't that be a shame? If you can't kill more babies, if you can't continue the slaughter of babies. Oh!
But that's now a legislative priority for Gavin Newsom.
No. Right. Unbelievable. All right, 888-900-3393. More Pat Gray Unleashed coming up.
Pat Gray.
Got some tweets here. Axis Tech tweets a bit of positive news. Congress's moment of silence today, honoring those who have died of COVID, means that for at least 60 seconds, they won't say or do anything stupid.
Oh, I like that. That's a positive spin.
They're going to pause and reflect because it's 800,000 deaths now.
Right.
DMXDM says, I think what Jill was saying is, if only we weren't so stupid.
Yeah.
If only we were as smart and cognitively fit as Joe. Only then would we embrace blind faith and total governmental control.
Sure. Our bad.
From Susan, yeah, my sister's first thoughts on seeing her house after the Dawson Springs, Kentucky tornado were, where will I get my booster? How can we use this to cure climate change?
Oh, well.
I'm sure.
We stand corrected then, I guess. Sorry to be so flippant when the guy was
right.
saying.
When in fact, that's
Joe,
exactly what was on their mind.
To the other point there.
Damn it. I was just going to get my booster, but that place is blown completely away. Where now? Where do I go now?
If we weren't so stupid, maybe we could understand.
Right. But we're too stupid, so we can't understand.
Dang.
Smash and grab thieves reportedly just stole more than $1 million worth of watches from a high-end car dealership in Chicago.
Wait, from what, watches?
From a high-end car dealership. Yeah, they must give watches when
oh boy,
when somebody makes a sale. Somebody stole them.
Oh,
jeez.
no.
Security video shows two men walking into the Gold Coast exotic motor cars dealership Saturday afternoon. So broad daylight, wearing masks and hoods. One stood at the door, apparently drawing a gun with his left hand, while another walked up to a display, pulled out a hammer, smashed the display case, and stuffed 8 watches into a bag. God. Wow, those are expensive watches. 8 of them, over $1 million. Wow. Those are like Glenn Beck watches.
Right?
Yeah. Those are the kind that he collects by the dozen. Staff members chased the two thieves for several blocks, but lost them eventually as they split up. Dealership owner Joe Perillo expressed relief that nobody was injured, including the robbers.
Wait, what a nice guy.
Including the robbers.
I'm so glad that those.
Wow. Yeah, what a relief.
Thieves.
They didn't get hurt. He was smart enough not to raise the gun because my people had guns. If he had raised that gun, he would have been shot.
Wait, where was this?
Downtown Chicago.
Wait.
We'd probably be in court defending ourselves.
Yeah.
We're here to run a legitimate business, not be a Western shootout. Well, yeah, but you got to protect your stuff, your people. I have little kids. I don't want to get shot here, said Joe Abbas, the dealership's co-owner. His children were visiting him during work, so they were actually there.
Yeah, that's not. No. Okay, I get it.
Jeez.
That's not good.
I mean, this thing has gotten so out of control.
All over the place.
That we've got more video. This one from San Francisco of another smash and grab situation.
Oh.
Look at this guy.
What?
Just goes into a pet store.
Look at that. Doesn't even care there's a camera rolling.
Takes off with a bone. See ya. Nobody even stops him.
That was awesome.
For those not on Blaze TV, though, it was a dog. A dog that walked into
with
the
one
pet
of those
store,
like dinosaur like leg bones.
That's great.
You don't care.
But that's how bad the problem is.
Right? The pets are even getting bold.
Pets are getting in on the action. Oh, that looks like a good idea. I'm just gonna take this.
Funny stuff.
Speaking of California, Pat head coach AJ was in the San Francisco airport. And I guess they were having some pizza.
Mm-hmm.
He and his family of 5 sat down for a little bit of pizza in the airport. And here's the bill. Check this out. $88.07 for a little pizza for your family of 5.
What? So wait, so 5 personal little pizzas. Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Not worth it. No pizzas. And that takes a lot for me to say that and admit it. But that is sick.
5 of them were $15 each, $74.95, and then there was a.
What is that?
What is the monster charge for $3.99? Okay, that's a drink. That's one of the energy drinks.
Okay,
right. So somebody got a monster. Those are $4 in the airport.
Wait, so
that's asimine.
The family
it costs
shared
about
it.
20 cents. And they charge $4 for a Monster?
So 5 personal pizzas and a Monster that the whole family had to sip from, apparently.
And then tax, $7.55.
Okay, what is this employee benefits charge?
Oh, yeah, look at that.
That's what he wants to know. What is that there in San Francisco?
Employee benefits, $1.58.
Yeah, so I looked up.
What is that?
I looked up a story. It's right there to your left about what that is there in old California.
Okay. San Francisco has a number of mandates on the books aimed at improving workers' lives.
Okay.
Which make it more expensive to operate a business in the city. Mm-hmm. When asked which mandates they're charging for, many restaurant owners cite health care, paid sick leave, and paid parental leave. Showing this charge on the check is entirely voluntary. You don't even have to do it. Jeez. In January 2008, but they're all charging. They just don't have to show it to you. January 2008, the voter approved a San Francisco healthcare ordinance went into effect, requiring any business with more than 20 employees to set aside money for their workers' health care. Oh, my gosh. That is amazing.
Well,
so you can run my business like that for me? You can tell me what I have to do with my employees? The 2018 set-aside rate is $1.89 per employee per hour worked for businesses with 20 to 99 employees, $2.83 per employee per hour worked for businesses with more than 100 employees. And it goes up a small amount every year. Wow.
So that's neat. Another mandate there
in
San Francisco.
Yeah, that works out really well.
I mean, there's a larger issue here. It's kind of the price of pizza in that San Francisco airport.
Yeah, $88 is what it winds up costing you.
So you save your... I cannot stand the hurricane time, the price gouging claims. Because, I mean, how do you define price gouging? It's supply and demand.
Yeah, is this price gouging?
Because, I mean, you're literally held captive. You're a captive audience, a customer with nowhere else to go. And yet airports can get away with that, which they should be able to, but don't come crying when you make these laws about price gouging at gas stations during storms.
Right.
When you're letting airports, it's all in the contracts and the government. Every city is connected in dirty ways to airports. Look at the history of Atlanta. Anyhow, it's a money-making scheme is all it is. So lay off of everybody else. Because the government isn't involved in the gas station price gouging. That's the difference.
Meanwhile, the Supreme Court is allowing vaccine mandates for New York healthcare workers. Wonder if this will show up in their bills, too. On Monday, they refused to block New York's requirement that healthcare workers be vaccinated against the coronavirus, even when they cite religious objections. So there's absolutely nothing you can do. As is often the case, often the court's practice and rulings on emergency applications, its unsigned order included no reasoning, but Justice Neil Gorsuch filed a 14-page dissent saying that the majority had betrayed the court's commitment to religious liberty. That sucks. Justice Sam Alito joined Gorsuch, obviously, in the dissent. So did Justice Thomas. Said he would have blocked the vaccine requirement, but gave no reasons. The Supreme Court in October refused to provide relief to healthcare workers in Maine who had made an essentially identical request and a challenge to a similar state requirement over the dissents of the same 3 justices. Now, how are things going in Maine since they have those requirements? Well, you know they're going well.
Sure.
Right? Maine is the 3rd most vaccinated U.S. state.
Okay.
So obviously, things are going to be looking really, really good.
Let's see what the numbers look like, shall we?
Yeah. Let's put up the chart there.
Okay.
Wait. What are we looking at?
So the orange spike that is, for all intents and purposes, right at 100%. And that is 65 or older who have the vaccine in the state of Maine.
Okay.
So virtually everyone.
Almost everybody
over
does.
65, right?
Yeah.
Now, the black line there, what is that? That is the hospital rate?
Current hospitalization.
Current hospitalization.
The current hospitalization is up there, it seems like, right at the same rate as the amount of vaccinated.
What is it? What is the hospitalization rate up in Maine here lately?
Hospitalizations in Maine. Oh, they're up just 902% since July.
902%.
Just 902% since July.
Wait, July? That's
this July. This last July we just had.
Which is a month after Dr. Fauci said that, well, now that we've reached 50% of adults vaccinated,
everything's going to be better.
We won't see any more surges. That's what that graph. Put that graph back up there, if you would, please, Rob. Look at that.
And he's right. Well, except for this little surge right here.
And that blue line, by the way, is percentage of 65 and older in Maine who have the booster.
Boosters. Yeah.
Which is also way up there.
99.9% of seniors are at least partially vaccinated.
There you go.
99.9%.
But we got to get 100 or else this graph means nothing. Right?
And 63% have had the booster shot.
But
that is unreal.
It's a pandemic of the unvaccinated, I'm told, by the president.
You
and
are
others.
told that. Yeah. Well, because there's that 0.1% that's not vaccinated.
That's who's doing it.
That's who's doing it. The 1/10 of 1% of people.
Maine, do you care about your fellow man?
Damn you. You people who won't get vaccinated there in Maine.
God.
And the hospitalization rate is unbelievable.
Yes, it is.
It matches the vaccinated. 902%
increase
since July.
Yeah.
Huh.
And speaking of
That's
Dr.
not bad.
Fauci, just unearthed was an interview that Mark Zuckerberg did with Dr. Fauci back in March of 2020 that I don't know that many people paid attention to, but they're starting to pay attention to it now. There's some good nuggets from that we got to play.
We're going to get to that in just a sec. First, let me tell you about Tommy John underwear, because I love me some Tommy John underwear.
Mm-hmm.
It is the most comfortable underwear you will ever wear. I don't know how to describe it except that it's so soft, doesn't ride up. All the things that they tell you are true.
It makes you want to wear underwear.
It does. And the loungewear. The loungewear is so comfortable, so soft. You just lounge around the house in it. It looks good enough that you can wear it anywhere. If you're going out to a steak dinner tonight, just wear Tommy John loungewear.
Oh, nice.
You will be so comfortable.
There's some parts of the country where they expect you only to wear just that.
Yeah, that's true. Then, of course, there's no lint balls, no fuzz. I hate it when, they get old and you've washed them a few times and then the lint and it shows you how cheap they are. That's not the case with Tommy John. So fantastic. That's why Tommy John doesn't have customers. They've got fanatics, because once you start wearing Tommy John, you can never go back. Get $25 off site-wide right now, plus free shipping at TommyJohn.com/unleashed. That's TommyJohn.com/unleashed for $25 off site-wide, plus free shipping. Order now so your gifts arrive before Christmas. TommyJohn.com/unleashed. See the site for details.
Merry Christmas! Merry Christmas, George! Merry Christmas, George! Merry Christmas, movie house! Merry Christmas, Emporium! Merry Christmas, you wonderful old building and loan!
Pat Gray Unleashed.
So these videos are from March of last year, so March of 2020. Mark Zuckerberg with Dr. Anthony Anthony
there you go.
Fauci of
Lord
DCC, president of the world.
There it is.
President of the world.
President of your body.
Here he is talking about the infection.
You get reinfected by the coronavirus if you've already had it.
Again, that hasn't been formally tested.
Okay, what happens?
But
what?
It is every reason to believe that this virus, when it comes to an immune response and long-term immunity, that it's not acting any different from any other virus. So I would project that once you're infected and you recover, that if you get exposed to this exact virus, you will not get reinfected. Remember, there are many different kinds of coronaviruses, but the one that infected you, you should be protected against.
Do you hear that? So
I'm protected.
Shouldn't natural immunity work just as well as a vaccine card that you're required in so many circles now?
And what he's saying there is, yes, it should.
Yes, either that or he is showing that he knows absolutely nothing about what he speaks of, because now we've got variant after variant that are dangerous. Just because you had COVID, you might get this variant. So, I mean, he either doesn't know what he's talking about, or they have completely done a 180 on natural immunity being good enough to exist in this society.
It's like every time he opens his mouth, that's the case. Every time.
Yeah.
He either backtracks and says the opposite of what he previously said, or he just shows you he's got no clue as to what's going on here. Here he is on drugs that may help.
Of compounds or things that they'd love to get tested. What would you like to see have happen there to prioritize which ones are the most optimistic, and what do you think about that strategy overall?
Well, it's a great question because it's exactly happening, and I like the strategy. So there are a number of already approved drugs.
Oh, we got drugs that can help.
That have been developed, but almost approved, not quite approved.
They can help, Pat.
That are now being looked at because of initial either in vitro or animal data work suggesting that they may be helpful. Give you some examples.
Okay, here we go.
There's a drug called remdesivir, which is a drug that was developed by Gilead as an antiviral. We tried it in Ebola. It didn't work as well as some of the other drugs, but it's there. What we're going to do now is there are clinical trials going on right now, both in China and in the United States, to see if it works. It's likely that one or more of these drugs, and there are several, are going to be out there to see an already developed drug if it can work. Another one is interesting. There's a lot of buzz on the internet about this, and that is a drug called Chloroquine.
Wait, what?
Or hydroxychloroquine.
Wait a minute!
Which is a drug that's been approved
Trump
for
was
decades.
mocked for pushing that.
Used in malaria. Yeah,
that
used in malaria
is
and used in certain
amazing.
autoimmune diseases like lupus.
Huh!
There's
and
some.
So you're recommending hydroxychloroquine?
Yeah.
What a kook! What a quack! What? What are you talking about? Yeah. Hi. Welcome. Great to have you with us. 888-900-3393. Also, Pat Unleashed on Twitter. Got some tweets here. I'm not a cat tweets government logic. We've decided to follow the science and are now going to put no tornado signs up in the Midwest.
Oh.
And no hurricane signs on every ocean.
Why
well, then that'll take care of it.
Think of that before.
Right. You remember when we said it's a no drug zone in the school areas?
Yep. And then
completely eliminated.
Gun-free zones.
Drugs, gun-free, no guns.
Work like a charm.
Yeah. Just put up a sign. That's a good idea. Florida man Rob. Christmas came early for Keith with that animal video. Sure did.
Shh, that's not
Got
an
away with
animal
one.
video. That's a smash and grab
right,
video.
That's a smash and grab video. That's what happened.
Punk.
Carol Remarks tweets regarding the smash and grabbers. Why wear masks and hoods when they're just going to get released and not charged?
That's right.
Hippie Patriot, I manage a high-end clothing retail store. We train every day how to handle a smash and grab scenario. Basically, it involves just getting out of their way and try not to get hurt. Soon, we'll all shop online. Brick and mortar will be a thing of the past. If this keeps up, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Without question.
Blah, blah, blah. San Francisco is on track to one day being synonymous with the act of driving all businesses and middle-income tax-paying residents away.
Yeah. Don't San Francisco my town.
And Führer Brandon, the solution to every variant equals Pfizer.
Sure does.
Well, not according to Anthony Fauci back a year and a half ago.
Yeah, that was March 2020, Anthony Fauci.
Of 2020. I can't believe this because...
This is the guy who said at this time, we don't need to worry about wearing masks.
Right. Yes. So this is for us in the United States. This is kind of the very beginning. But still, he's entertaining hydroxychloroquine here. And then... So Trump picks up on it, and then he's the dumbest living person.
Yeah, what was it? Remember the lady poisons her husband with fish aquarium cleaner?
Yes.
And they say, well, Trump told her to. No, she was trying to murder her husband. Stop it. It's not the same thing as what Fauci was talking about.
And that came to light later, and nobody ever corrected the record.
No, Trump's just an idiot. That's
she was not following Trump. She was trying to kill her husband. Well, it sounded like I gave him chlorine. That sounded like hydroxychloroquine. I thought it was the same thing because of Trump. Yeah, no, that doesn't work, hon. That doesn't work. All right, so we got to play the last portion of this because this is amazing. I don't know that I don't know that I've ever heard Fauci recommend hydroxychloroquine before.
I haven't heard any of this.
Listen to this.
Yes, and that is a drug called chloroquine. Or hydroxychloroquine. Which is a drug that's been approved for decades. Very cheap.
Yeah, it's the old
used
malarial
in malaria.
drug.
Yeah, used in malaria and used in certain autoimmune diseases like lupus.
Huh.
There's some indication in the test tube that it might have some activity. The FDA said today that they are going to see if we can do some expanded use access, getting people who might want to use it off-label, namely since it's an approved drug.
Okay.
So your point is extremely well taken.
It's extremely well taken, Mark. Your point is extremely well taken. Yes, there are drugs that can treat this. Hydroxychloroquine, one of the most promising among them. How did that go from Fauci recommendation to you're the biggest idiot on the planet if you talk about it?
Okay, how'd
that happen?
Oh my gosh, Pat. So I Google hydroxychloroquine in Dr. Fauci, just real quick here. And up comes a story from July. So between
this last July?
2020.
Okay.
So just in about 4 months.
So from March to July of last year.
He goes from saying that it works to all the valid scientific data shows hydroxychloroquine isn't effective in treating COVID-19.
Oh my gosh.
It's 180 from this. What?
Yeah. Yeah. When we were hearing from doctors all over the planet, the exact opposite. The opposite of that. Who treated patients with hydroxychloroquine and saved lives. Jeffy will tell you about his, I don't know, nephew or somebody?
Yeah.
Somebody in his family, I think it was his nephew, who was getting worse and worse and worse on COVID-19. And they were, giving him the remdesivir and all the rest of that stuff, and nothing worked. And they finally gave him hydroxychloroquine, and he pulled out of it in like a day.
And by the way,
saved
Fauci,
his life.
What I just read you about all the scientific data shows it's not effective was said in front of Congress in July of 2020.
Amazing. Jeez. And no explanation. I said this might be promising at first, but since then I've come across a lot of data to the contrary. None of that.
Yeah.
Not even that.
And the data is
it's just it doesn't work. Sorry.
The data is my stock portfolio now.
Yeah, right.
Probably. I mean, in theory.
Allegedly.
Yeah, that's just me.
So here's Anthony Fauci from the same interview, I believe, right? The Mark Zuckerberg interview.
Same guy.
Talking about the vaccine effectiveness.
Okay.
The initial safety study, Mark, is to see if I inject it in the arm, does it have some sort of idiosyncratic or bad reaction?
Okay.
There's another element to safety, and that is if you vaccinate someone and they make an antibody response, and then they get exposed and infected, does the response that you induce actually enhance the infection and make it worse? And the only way you'll know that is if you do an extended study, not in a normal volunteer who has no risk of infection, but in people who are out there in a risk situation. This would not be the first time, if it happened, that a vaccine that looked good in initial safety actually made people worse. There was the history of the respiratory syncytial virus vaccine in children, which paradoxically made the children worse. One of the HIV vaccines that we tested several years ago actually made individuals more likely to get infected.
Really?
So you can't just go out there and give it unless you feel that in the field, when someone is getting infected and exposed, being vaccinated doesn't make them worse. That's why you got to do a trial.
Okay. Wow. Well, there you go. There you go. It could actually make it worse.
Oh, who dares
if
say
you've
that?
had the vaccine and then you get the virus, that makes it worse. Well, now they say it makes it better.
Right.
Now they say it lessens the severity.
This is...
I don't know. Crazy.
This needs to be spread far and wide, and I will tweet that out right now with all of those cue points in this 30-minute interview with Mark Zuckerberg, Dr. Fauci.
Again, that's from March of 2020.
Yeah.
So a year and a half ago. Crazy.
It could make it It could make it worse.
And they don't know because they didn't try it out on anybody. They didn't do the trial like that.
Yeah, put the
There
main...
wasn't time.
Let's see the Maine graphic again. State of Maine, Rob. If you could put that from earlier in the program. It could make it worse. But look, Fauci said in June of this year that with 50% of adults vaccinated, we won't see surges like in the past. But exactly what happened is what he said could happen back in March of 2020. Look at that chart.
Because 99.9% of the elderly are vaccinated, at least to a certain extent in Maine.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so then the other line that comes up and meets that line of the vaccinated is the hospitalizations.
Right, yeah.
The hospitalization rate is almost the exact same as the vaccination rate.
Help us.
It's gone up 902% since July.
And look into those experiments that he was referring to with children and HIV while you're at it. Gonna tweet this out now. Look for it at Pat Unleashed on Twitter.
This guy's got such a sketchy past, and you're not supposed to ever talk about it.
No.
You'll be eliminated. Your voice will be silenced if you mention anything about it. But look into him. Do your own research. I encourage you to look it up for yourself and check this guy out.
When does YouTube pull this interview down?
I don't know.
For all of the falsehoods that are being talked about
the
here.
misinformation.
Right, the misinformation.
On hydroxychloroquine. What kind of kook is this guy?
And who's this doctor guy who's talking about how you could be made worse with symptoms if you get the COVID after the vaccine?
When we know for a fact that the vaccine, even if you get it after having the vaccine, it's going to lessen the severity.
And he's talking about some drug that might help?
Yeah.
I mean, come on. What a quack. Well, that's accurate.
Hydroxychloroquine? That's a malaria drug. You can't use it for COVID-19.
Maybe that was just a deep fake, that whole interview. That
That's
wasn't
possible.
Mark Zuckerberg or Dr. Anthony Fauci.
Maybe we'll find that. Yeah. Maybe. Wow.
That's damning stuff.
Isn't that
right
great?
there.
That's good stuff. Yeah. That's really good stuff. 888-900-3393. Another one of my pet peeves. The freaking civil asset forfeiture situation. My gosh, when will we wake up to this? And how un-American it is. A Marine is suing the DEA to get back his entire life savings. What was his entire life savings? $87,000.
No, you can't be driving around with that.
They took it from him. And he said, "You're taking money out of my kids' mouths." And he sued the DEA for confiscating his entire life savings during a routine traffic stop because dogs hit on the cash. And so to the police, that means that they smelled drugs on the cash. Well, that could have come from anybody, anywhere. I mean, this is money that he didn't manufacture. It's been around the system for a long time.
Have you ever done the website Where's George? I think it's where'sgeorge.com, and you put in the serial number of the bill in your hand, and you can see all the people that have logged it. I mean, that money goes everywhere and is involved in who knows what along the way.
Yeah. Stephen Lara, 39 years old, a Marine from Texas, is suing the U.S. Drug Enforcement Agency after an agent and a Nevada trooper seized his life savings of $87,000 in February, claiming a dog smelled drugs on the money. And again, is the dog really well trained? Is the dog smelling something else that he just thinks, no, I'm going to go see what that is?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know.
What's the dog do on the weekends? Hang out with Jeffy? We don't know.
We don't know.
I mean, that dog might have its own past, and that's why it knows what it smells like.
That's right. That is exactly right. Stephen Lara, who was on his way to visit his daughters in North Carolina when he took his life savings out of the bank because he doesn't trust banks. Oh, boy. Now we've got a conspiracy theorist. He deserved to lose his money.
Yeah.
You don't trust banks? Next, you'll tell us you don't trust the government.
Whoa,
That's what you'll tell us.
Whoa.
And I'm sorry, my friend, but that can't be allowed. Okay, so a Nevada State Highway patrolman pulled him over for driving slowly. Wait, he was pulled over for driving slowly?
Well, then I'll never get pulled over. That's good.
Wow.
You won't either.
Pulled him over? No, that will not be an issue in my life. And confronted him about the cash. And, of course, he denied that there was any criminal purpose for it.
Mm-hmm.
Although Laura was never charged with a crime.
Wait, what?
Never charged, as always. A DEA agent helped the officer seize the cash as part of its adoption policy.
How do you like that phrase?
We're not stealing the cash. We're adopting it.
Yeah, it needed a
We're
good
giving
home.
it a nice home where it'll be treated better than this Marine would treat it. We will make sure that this money grows and develops into a beautiful fortune, which allows them to take property connected to criminal activity without ever levying criminal charges. The DEA immediately returned the money following the lawsuit.
Oh, wait, what? So you put a little pressure on them, and they're like, oh, you're right, we have no constitutional leg to stand on.
Thank goodness. At least this one has a happy ending.
Yeah.
You should never have to deal with this, though. You shouldn't have to prove that you're innocent. That's not how our justice system works. But that's how civil asset forfeiture works. Mm-hmm. The Institute for Justice, which helped Laura file the lawsuits in September, said they'd continue to pursue them. If this could happen to me as a combat veteran who served overseas in Iraq and Afghanistan, how despicable is this to put him through this? This could happen to anybody, he said. And of course, he's right. And it does happen to anybody. Anybody and everybody who carries large amounts with cash and get pulled over. And then some dumb dog hits on their cash. Well, something's going on here. Yeah, what? How do I know that there's not delicious dog food smell on the cash? How do I know? Maybe it's been soaked in gravy train. I don't know. The DEA sat on his life savings, though, for months, ignoring the legal deadlines. Ignoring the deadlines. Requiring it to charge him with a crime, begin a civil asset forfeiture case against his property, or return the money within 6 months of seizure, which they never do. They never do that. Mm-mm. The DEA did none of those things, like usual, and advocates against civil asset forfeiture went into action. Wesley Hottet, a lawyer representing Laura, told the Washington Post, that the cops, at least the Post ran this story. That's great. The cops seized the money without probable cause, right? And that returning the money to Laura was just standard tactic that the federal government uses to try to prevent people from challenging the constitutionality of their cash cow. Someone should take this all the way to the U.S. Supreme Court and put a stop to it.
Yep.
Maybe I'll just do that. Maybe I'll take out my life savings, start driving around haphazardly.
No, bro.
It's got to be challenged. Yeah. This has to stop.
Yeah, well, it's actually, believe it or not, it's getting some attention in Congress. Maybe after the break, we can play some clips from, believe it or not, AOC herself. I think you're going to agree with what she is saying about civil asset forfeiture.
Really?
Oh, yes,
Oh, that's
indeed.
interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if she's saying things I like, that must mean I'm on the wrong side of the fence here.
No, I think you meant to say credit where credit is due. I think it sounded like something different when you said it out loud.
All right. Let me tell you about Built Bars. Built Bars, if you want a good snack throughout the day that you don't have to feel guilty about all day long, they're Built Bars. Built Bars are amazing. They taste delicious. They taste like candy bars, and they're only 180 calories or less, 4 to 5 grams of sugar and carbs, and 18 grams of protein. So actually, they're good for you. They satisfy that hunger and that sweet tooth, and then you don't have to sit there and lament, oh, geez, it's going to cost me later on, because it's not. So go to Built.com, use the promo code PAT15, and you'll save 15% off your first order. Promo code PAT15 for 15% off at Built.com.
What number do people call to get on the air? Do we have that number?
Why, yes, there is a phone number you can call. 888-900-3393. It's Pat Gray Unleashed on the Blaze.
That's interesting.
It is. You know what else is interesting? We haven't played nearly enough Christmas music yet this year. And then, of course, the biggest Christmas song of all. Go it on the mountain, over the hills, and everywhere I go. Tell it on the mountain. Is that your favorite one?
Not nearly enough. You're right. We haven't played it. Oh, no.
Oh, yeah, here we go.
What is happening? I mean, this is like before there was American Idol, there was this show. Mountain, yeah. Hills.
Yeah. There you go.
There you go.
All right, we got some tweets here. Rants. Omnicorn tweets.
What?
That's Omnicorn.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Rants Omnicorn.
That's kind of fun.
Mhm.
And now I like it.
The fact that Fauci is questioning whether or not this virus would act the same as other viruses shows you he knows that this isn't a natural virus.
Uh-oh.
He knows it was gain of function.
Now, how would he know that?
Yeah, right. You're kind of alleging that what? He funded the research?
What is going
I'm a lickin' butter tweets Build Back Broke.
Yeah.
From Harsh Karma. The data that changed Dr. Fauci's mind was a big fat check from Pfizer, but I could be wrong. No, you're probably almost for sure not. Pew Pew One Pew sounds like all these piles of cash are laced with rough greens.
Rough greens.
And that's why the dogs are hitting on them, because they love them some rough greens. That's true. That is very true. All right, we were talking about the civil asset forfeiture of that Marine who lost $87,000 and actually got it back. Yeah. I mean, it took 6 or 7 months, but he still got his money back.
Yeah, he got lucky compared to a lot of the horror stories we've heard.
Yeah, we got to try to track down the woman at Love Field here in Dallas, who just lost $106,000 a couple weeks ago. $106,000. Not charged, not alleged that she wasn't doing anything suspicious. She just had cash in her suitcase. That's not illegal. Well, it's suspicious.
Sure
Tough.
is. Yeah.
It doesn't matter. It's not illegal. Well, but why is she traveling with cash?
Yeah, we got to know.
I don't know, and it's none of our business. Well, yeah, but the dog hit on it.
Dog hit on it.
I don't care if the dog hit on it. That's not a constitutional thing.
Wait, there's
you can't sentence somebody to lose their property because a dog hit on it.
There's not the dog hit on it clause in Section 2, Article 9er?
There's not a 28th Amendment that says if the dog hits on your property and there's cash inside, they can take it from you. No, that's not a thing. Not a thing. So anyway, Congress is now talking about civil asset forfeiture. Is that amazing? Thank you. Let's do more than talk, though. Let's do something about this. I mean, it's already so unconstitutional. We shouldn't have to do anything about it. It's asinine that we're even having to talk about it. This is such a no-brainer that it's illegal, that it's unconstitutional, that there shouldn't have to be any discussion. But here's AOC talking about it.
Civil forfeiture means that the government, law enforcement, etc., is allowed to take away your property, often your car or even your home, without an arrest, without criminal charges,
right,
and without ever going to court, correct?
Yes.
That is correct.
And as long as the police can claim that they believe this property is in some way connected to a crime.
Yeah, because a dog said so.
Yeah, the dog hit on it.
The dog hit on it.
We've already gone over the Constitution.
Yeah, right. But Alexandria, the dog went right up to the suitcase.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why we took the money.
Yep.
Because the dog
hit
kind of went nuts on it.
Yeah.
Okay, and
it's
well, the dog liked it. The dog was smelling it. Smelled something there.
Yeah, it's Article 4, Section 5. The dog hit on it.
Okay,
section.
All right, there you go. Okay. I think that was the Gouverneur Morris clause.
Yeah.
James Madison was struggling with, okay, what should I put here on this next one? What's the next thing we should
you don't
be able
really
to...
need something right there.
And then Gouverneur
James.
Morris said, hey,
Goof
Jim, you know what we should do is take money from people if a dog hits on their property.
Yeah, but how do we write
Yeah.
that with this quill pen all fancy like? Because that sounds kind of rudimentary. So how do we?
Don't worry about the fancy part.
How
on
do
this
we
one.
complicate that sentence structure?
We won't do the calligraphy on this. We'll just jot it down. Just type it out on your word processor.
Yeah, just wait till you hear the
All right.
story from AOC we've got after this break here.
All right.
Oh, you're going to be mad.
Coming up.
Now back to Pat Gray.
Yeah.
On the Blaze Radio Network.
Thank you so much. 888-900-3393. Pat Unleashed on Twitter. Got some tweets here. Roy Mazeka. I regularly drive around with my life savings, and I've never had it seized, but it's only like $22.36. So.
Okay, be careful out there.
Yeah. Because you never know when that'll be confiscated.
Yeah, lay low.
Yeah, some law enforcement agencies will see like a brand new SUV with that $22.36, and they'll take it from you.
Mm-hmm.
Use that in the war on drugs. Coffee Lover M. Keith, in no case, in case no one has told you today, you have some mad skills on that tambourine.
Aw, thanks.
Yeah.
It's come up a couple of times.
Yeah, it
I've
has.
heard tambourine. We have some tambourine-heavy songs now in there, I guess.
I didn't tell him today, but I have told him in the past.
Aw,
He's pretty good on that tambourine thing.
Well, you know what? You're not so bad yourself on guitar, Pat.
Thank you, Keith.
It's that
Thank
time
you.
of year. It's the Christmas spirit.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Rowdy introvert, asset forfeiture will be a cog in the BBB Great Reset machine.
Mm-hmm.
How else is everyone going to own nothing and be happy? I believe the full slogan should be, you'll own nothing and be happy, or else.
You'll own nothing and be happy.
Yep.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So AOC talking about civil asset forfeiture in a negative way.
I love it.
Amazingly enough. She actually told a story about somebody who got caught up in that whole machine.
The vast majority of civil forfeiture cases, the government is driving away cars, kicking people out of their homes for claimed suspicion, but not even the person that has this property needs to be connected to any of these crimes. This happens without arrest, without criminal charges. So, Professor Rulli, what you see in your practice essentially is the combination of the inherent biases and frankly, institutional racism and classism of our criminal system, combined with civil asset forfeiture, means it's disproportionately poor people, low-income people, and people of color that are having their property seized.
I've not seen a single person of color while we've been talking about this. Have we? Have we come across one? I don't think so. These are all the ones I can think of.
Boy, I don't know. I really don't know. I know we're about to be introduced to one.
We don't know the ethnicity of the woman at Love Field because they've never said her name. We can't even find her name. But this guy, this Marine, was a white guy. The guy in Utah who had $499,000 seized, a white guy. The guy who had the $88,000 seized at an airport in Pennsylvania was white. I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm not hearing about all the people of color, the BIPOCs. I don't know. But I'm sure it has nothing. I don't think it has anything to do with race. This has to do with, we want your money. We're going to take it for the war on drugs. We need better equipment. We're going to take it. So, because we can. And that's what keeps happening. Anyway, let's hear the rest of this.
Without really any proven cause, correct?
That is correct. And in fact, we mapped that in Philadelphia. We actually used geomapping to show that. You're absolutely right.
Thank you so much, Professor Rulli. And we have one of those people with us here today, with our witness, with Ms. Harris. Ms. Harris, the police, as you mentioned in your testimony, drove your car away, and for a reason that you were not completely understood when it was given to you. And they didn't even show you a single slip of paper when they took your car away, right? That is correct.
I want to see her.
And Ms. Harris, how long did the government take to contact you with a notice after they drove away with your car? You had mentioned it earlier.
5 years.
So they took
5
car
years. 5 years.
without a shred of documentation, and they
Or
took
even a charge.
5 years to get back to you about that.
Yes, correct.
And when they got back to you about that, how long did the government, after they took 5 years of their time, their sweet time, how much time did they give you to respond to their notice?
I believe it was between 25 and 21 days. And that was what they gave me, and they put the wrong address on there. So by the time I got the paperwork, I actually had 2 weeks.
So any amount of things could have happened. You could have moved. You could have had a change of address. They took 5 years to get to you, and then they gave you 21 days to respond to an enormous asset that they had seized. That's absolutely devastating to just lose overnight. That's what happened?
Yes, correct.
And initially, you weren't even going to pursue recourse because the legal fees associated with getting your car back before pro bono help was extended to you, you were just going to take it as a loss. Is that correct?
My gosh.
Yes.
That is unreal. And let's not forget, they had her car for 5 years. So she had to replace it, right? You got to get a different car. You got to drive something. So she had those payments or that rental or that lease to worry about for 5 years.
Right. She either had those payments or she
should be compensated for all that.
Didn't have the luxury of trading in that confiscated car to go toward the purchase of another one.
She should be compensated.
Big time.
For all of that.
Time,
and
trouble,
then some.
Property.
Interest.
Oh, gosh. Yeah.
The insurance.
What's the inflation rate now as opposed to 5 years ago?
Right. A lot.
Madness.
This
is not America, man.
No, it's ridiculous.
Merry Christmas. Happy holidays.
And what kind of world is it where AOC is fighting this battle? Where are the conservatives? Where are the constitutionalists? Where are the people outraged over this? It's unbelievable that no one is. Apparently no one is, except Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Wow. Okay, that's pretty pathetic.
That's her little Christmas present to us.
And Merry Christmas.
Yay, Merry Christmas, y'all.
Yay.
AOC, and
that's
we agree.
Gut check. Stop.
Yeah. Help us.
Wow. I mean, I love Mike Lee. Where's he?
Well,
Mr. Constitution, maybe.
Well, this was in the House, so maybe it'll come up in the Senate.
Maybe it'll come up in the Senate. I don't know. Maybe not.
Well, let me see if he might have talked on something. We just maybe not. There's so much that happens in this world. It's impossible to follow every little clip that's out there. I'm just going to see if he's done anything lately.
Mm-hmm. Rand Paul, Mike Lee.
Yeah. I mean, last year there was something with Senator Lee.
And civil asset forfeiture.
And he did it again a couple years before that. So
he's talked about it in the past.
Yeah. Remember the ATF, or as Joe Biden says, AFT nominee? Mike Lee grilled him on that earlier this year.
Oh, good. Mm-hmm. All right. And why is nobody talking about the FBI and what they did in Los Angeles at that safety deposit vault? Just took everybody's life savings.
Defund the FBI, I say.
Yeah. Jeez.
Good day.
888-900-3393. Also at Pat Unleashed on Twitter. Let me tell you about Omega XL. You have a whole bunch of joints, like 360 of them from your neck all the way down to your feet. 360 joints that take a beating with daily activity, with aging. And that's why your joints hurt constantly and maybe even ruin your sleep from time to time. It's not fun. And if you want to get out of pain, do what I did. Take Omega XL. Because of the science. When we're young, our bodies produce SPMs. They're nature's way of keeping joints healthy. But as we age, we don't produce enough of them, which is maybe why I was in pain and had that inflammation in my elbow. But Omega XL can restore your SPMs and rejuvenate your joints and muscles so you can move like when you were young. Can your supplement that you're taking right now do that? So this could be a huge difference in your life and stop the damage that's going on in that joint. Because if you got inflammation there and pain, there's also degeneration, and it's something that can affect you long term. So go to omegaxl.com/Pat And when you place your first order, they're going to throw in a second bottle for free. OmegaXL.com. Buy one, get one free. Or you can call 1-800-844-4888.
Then the Grinch thought of something he hadn't before. Maybe Christmas, he thought, doesn't come from a store. Maybe Christmas, perhaps, means a little bit more.
Pat Gray Unleashed.
All right, let's go to Scott in Kentucky. Hey, Scott, you're on the Blaze.
Hi, Pat. Hi, Keith. I love the show.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
I love all my pet heads out there too. Hey, I'm from Mayfield, Kentucky. I was here when the tornado hit, and I was at work. It ran right through the city. I mean, right in between us. I work on the north side of Mayfield, and I live on the south side of Mayfield, so it just kind of went right in between us. So luckily, thank God, we weren't damaged or hurt or anything.
Wow, that's great.
I was at work when it was going on. The lights went out. We all got in the hallway, and we didn't know what was going on. It could have been anything. Usually, tornadoes hit here, and they hit like a field, and then they just take off. But later, after it passed, we started hearing about all the damage, and it's all the buildings that were just destroyed, and most people got sent home, but we had to stay. We were maintenance. We had to work that night and wait for the power to. We thought maybe the power was going to come back on. We got all kinds of emergency bells and whistles and chemicals to deal with, if that happens.
Yeah.
And
everybody and love doing okay?
Yeah, they're okay. No, as far as I know, nobody I know has been hurt or killed or anything or lost their home or anything. But
is the power still off?
Our power came back on, and the power at the plant where I work, it finally came back on yesterday. We had to still work though, still going to work and sit there all night, freezing cold, and wait for the power to come back on. But that night, afterwards, somebody showed us a video, said they were taking volunteers. So me and about 4 other guys left to go volunteer. They told us to go to a local bank here, and I walked in, and there's like a room full of cops, and I don't know if they were just state troopers from all over the state or what, but everybody's just sitting around drinking coffee, talking to each other. But they directed me over to a nice lady named Vicky, and I grabbed everything I could from the car. I grabbed like ratchet straps for tourniquets. I had like nitrile gloves for blood or anything, anything I could think of out of the car in case they needed supplies. And she just looked at me. She said, "We got enough people to dig through the rubble." She's like, "We need a DOT guy though, someone to direct the buses." She's like, "Can you do that?" I said, "I'll learn. Just point me in the direction. Tell me how I can help."
Mm-hmm.
And I went over to the high school and I directed buses the rest of the night just to pick up the wounded and non-wounded. And
good for you.
Yeah.
What do they need now? If people would want to, if anybody's somewhat in that region and they want to help out, what needs to be done? Are they looking for people to prayers? Yeah,
prayers mostly. I'm not sure what's going on. I know a lot of people have lost their homes, they lost their businesses.
And where are they staying? Have they opened shelters for them?
I directed some buses to a church up near Paducah. So I know they got shelter there. Some of the people who weren't wounded. They blew out. They were telling me they blew out the windows in the hospital there. So we set up like kind of a triage shelter unit at a Mayfield High School, and I was directing buses there too. So
Scott,
I have no idea. I don't know what to do.
Scott, I got a question. Well, first of all, the rooster is a fun, nice touch there. Tell him hi for us. But here's a question for you. Have you heard anything there around town? You live in Mayfield, Kentucky. Have you heard anything about the candle factory? The employees were reportedly told that they would be jeopardizing their jobs if they left because they knew the storms were coming. They wanted to go home early, be with their families, hunker down. And apparently there's talk that maybe they had their jobs threatened if they left. Have you heard anything about that around town in Mayfield?
That is the rumor. I don't know if that's absolutely true or not. I got a friend who works over there. I think he's a supervisor over the whole thing over there. I think over maintenance at least.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
But I ain't talked to him in years. But
there's a lady named Michaela Emery who's quoted in an article. She says that she overheard managers tell 4 workers standing near her who wanted to leave the factory, quote, "If you leave, you're more than likely to be fired. I heard that with my own ears," end quote.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Yeah, I heard they were talking about suing the owner, but we all got talking about it. It was like the owner, I think she just owns shares. She doesn't even really own the company anymore. They should be suing the corporate for that. If that's true, I don't know. I can't,
All right, well, stay safe, man.
completely confirm that or anything, but it's pretty messed up if it's true.
Appreciate the call.
I did talk to a woman who she pulled up to the high school, and she was in it.
Mm-hmm.
She was there when in the candle factory when they told her to duck and cover, and she said as soon as they told us to duck and cover, it hit, and the walls came in crashing down on top of her, and it sucked her safety glasses off. And
oh God!
She said she was there, I guess, with her dad, and was asking me if I knew where her husband was because her husband was still in there.
Oh,
wow.
And I told her, I said, best place to go is Mayfield High School, and go over there and see if he's there. If they got him out, he'll be okay, or if he's hurt or whatever, you'll find him there at least. But
and do you know if she did find him?
I have no idea. She left, and I just went on to directing buses again. I did what I gave her whatever information I had.
Yeah. All right.
So.
Terrifying. Appreciate it. Thanks, Scott. Appreciate everything you're doing to try to help out. And
Mercury1.org if you want to help out as well.
Just another really, really awful catastrophe. And by the way, these happen without climate change. They've always happened. They will continue to happen. Even after we get to zero carbon emissions, they will still happen because that's part of the weather cycle on this planet. But it's really heartbreaking what has happened in Kentucky, and 5 other states. As a matter of fact, it wasn't just Kentucky. Kentucky was just the hardest hit. But they're saying 74 dead now so far, and 100 still missing. Yeah. All right. 888-900-3393. Colorado Mayor Jared Polis. Governor, yeah. This says Colorado Mayor.
See, there you go.
There you go again.
Every story
is what we're
has
saying.
a typo.
Governor who?
Governor who? Nice.
Colorado Governor Jared Polis declares a COVID-19 emergency over.
Uh-oh.
Though he says the pandemic is over. Breaking from the Democrat Party, Polis added that he would not be implementing another statewide mask mandate, despite the Omicron variant spreading easily. Everybody has had more than enough opportunity to get vaccinated, he said. Hopefully it's been at your pharmacy, your grocery store, a bus near you, big events. At this point, if you haven't been vaccinated, it's really your own darn fault. That's a great attitude to have. Thank you. Don't try to force me anymore. It's just, it's up to me now. And that's how I like it. Mm-hmm. I didn't hesitate to issue a statewide mask mandate in the emergency, but the emergency is over. Public health officials don't get to tell people what to wear. That's not their job.
Yeah. By the way, I think you're going to start seeing more Democratic governors like this in these purple states like Colorado as election year approaches. Governor Polis up for re-election in 2022.
Aha!
He has not
that explains
been on the side of freedom until now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now that kind of explains it. Yep. Public health officials would say to always wear a mask because it decreases flu and decreases other airborne illnesses. Does it?
Yeah. Now check your lungs there.
But that's not something that you require. You don't tell people what to wear. Thank you. You don't tell people to wear a jacket when they go out in winter and force them to wear it.
Thank you.
If they get frostbite, it's their own darn fault.
Thank you.
Yes. Yes, Governor Polis. Thank you. If you haven't been vaccinated, that's your choice. I respect that. But it's your fault when you're in the hospital with COVID.
Still not voting for you.
But this is the sentiment. This is the libertarian spirit that we should have in this country.
It
okay,
should be around more than just election years.
It should. It's like the drug thing. Glenn always says, yeah, if you're going to legalize the drugs, all right, well then you have to be ready to say, all right, I'm going to step over you when you pass out from your overdose and fall down in the street. I'm going to step over you.
I
keep walking.
I can roll with that easily. Yeah. Let's do this.
Yes. That's the libertarian way. Okay, you made your decision. You made your bed. Now lay in it.
Yeah.
Or lie in it, probably.
Yeah, which is that?
I think it's
that always bugs me, man.
I believe it's lie. But lie never seems right to me. But it is.
But I thought wearing masks and getting the vaccine and all that other stuff, I thought that was for the greater good. Like, it's just for the greater good, right?
Right.
Like
that's not what he's seems to be saying here, which is great.
You got to see this video. This lady made this video that just basically walks us through the entire pandemic to where we are, where we started, and where we are today. If you would like to see,
I would like to.
This is interesting. This
All
is
right.
good stuff.
We need you to stay in your home for a couple weeks. It's for the greater good. We need you to close your business just for a short time.
Okay.
It's for the greater good. We need you to stay home just a little bit longer than 2 weeks. It's for the greater good. We need you to wear this on your face. It's for the greater good. We need you to wear 2 of these on your face. It's for the greater good.
Right.
We need you to inject this into your body. It's for the greater good. We need you to spend the holidays alone. It's for the greater good. You must inject this into your body if you want to feed your family. It's for the greater good. We need you to stop eating that. It's not good for the environment. It's for the greater good. We need you to stop driving your car and flying. It's for the greater good. We need you to stop heating your home so often. It's for the greater good. We need you to stop saying that. It's hurting some people's feelings. This is for the greater good. We need you to stop having children. It's not good for the planet. This is for the greater good. We need you to stop talking about your faith. It's offending people. This is for the greater good. We need to separate you from your children because you're not complying. This is for the greater good. We need to hold you in a facility for a little while for not cooperating. This is for the greater good. 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 This is for the greater good.
Pretty creepy.
And accurate.
And very accurate.
Oh, boy.
It's true. We've heard all of those things. Virtually all of them. And it's always for the greater good. And look where we are. Is it better now than it was before?
It's over, right? Everything's good?
Yeah, everything's good. Right?
Yay.
It should be, for the greater good, it should be the greatest good of all time for everything we've done for the greater
right?
good.
I should be
seem
exempt
like that, though.
for doing anything for the greater good of the rest of my life. All right?
All right. We will see you again tomorrow. Have a great day. We'll be back, and Jeffy will chew the fat with us.
Pat Gray, only on the Blaze Radio Network.